everyone. Welcome to the Java with John program. Here we are, Friday the 13th of November. That means exactly 8 months to the day on Friday the 13th of March when we closed down Town Hall, closed down the library, and I believe the schools probably closed that day too. A lot of things changed 8 months ago today. Later that day, the president declared a national emergency regarding COVID-19. The governor had a state of emergency. The following Monday, the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Health declared a local state of emergency. And unfortunately, we're still in it. Today, we're doing our 30th episode of the Java with John program. This is a program that used to be done in person with seniors at the Senior Center. And since March, we've been doing it online to try to connect with our senior community on a regular basis. And I'm very appreciative of Sharon and Mark and the IT team and all the guests that we've had over the last 30 episodes to try to continue to provide information and updates on public health and everything else to our community. And we've gotten a lot of great feedback on the program, and we're going to continue it. Hopefully we won't need to do it virtually, but we'll do it as long as we can. So it's been a lot of fun. So a lot has happened in 8 months. We've suffered losses. We've changed almost everything about the way we live. We learn differently. We work differently. We shop differently. We eat differently. We visit people differently. It's just a totally different world than it was 8 months ago. It's been a very challenging time for our community and for all communities. And now we're facing an increase in cases of COVID, similar to what we saw in the spring. Heather and Sheryl will be here to talk more about that shortly. I'm confident that we're better prepared this time as we know a lot more about what we're dealing with, but we still have some difficult times ahead. In Acton, we continue to work very hard to keep everyone safe and continue providing services to our residents. I'm very proud of the work that we've done here, our staff, our volunteers over the last 8 months, our public health team led by Heather York and Sheryl Ball, who are here today again. They've been outstanding. We're lucky to have such professionals in those roles, and they've gone above and beyond, and they will continue to do so for our community. They've been working nonstop since it started, and so have our other staff too. Our other staff in Town Hall and Public Works and Land Use, Finance, Human Resources, the Town Clerk's Office, Senior Center, Community Outreach, Veterans, Public Safety. It's been dealing with reduced staffing and extraordinary conditions, and they've all done amazing work to keep the systems and everything going. Our public safety folks have to risk their lives anyways, and they've been doing it 8 months in the middle of a pandemic, which has made it that much more complicated. So I'm very proud as the town manager here. I'm very proud of the work that we've done. I know the Board of Selectmen are proud. I appreciate the board and their unwavering support for us, their leadership throughout the last 2 months or 8 months, the Board of Health as well. I also want to mention the great work over at the school district. Peter Light, Superintendent Peter Light and his team, I think they've done a great job. They've been doing everything they can to keep education going in our community, and I'm very impressed with how they've handled this despite the challenges that come up every week. So while this has been a very challenging time for our community, I believe it's also been a defining time. And if residents didn't know before, I hope you all know now how lucky we all are to have such a professional group of people working in our local government here. It's really been a shining moment, I think, for our team. So we'll continue to adapt. We'll continue to provide services. We'll continue to take precautions to keep ourselves and our community safe. We'll have an update today from Public Health, and we'll continue to have updates. We'll have members of our fire department here today, and members of our team will continue to provide information to all of you throughout the coming months to make sure we're all safe and aware of what's happening. But I just wanted to take this moment, as it's the 8 month mark, to just thank a sincere thank you to all of our employees here at the town of Acton for everything that they've done. And I want to thank our residents too for everything that you've contributed to help us. But I just wanted to mention that before I go through my regular updates. And we have some great guests this morning that will be sharing some important information. So let me just run through a few quick things, and we'll get started with the program. As always, if there are questions or comments that you wanted to share and you wanted us to address on air today, you can get them to me by emailing manager@actonma.gov, or you can try to call in and get online live, 978-929-6611. So the updates, the Board of Selectmen met yesterday in a special meeting, and they completed their work to create a statement against racism. I was very impressed with the process that they took. They spent time and did it very deliberately. They got a lot of feedback from members of the community, and the statement that they came up with yesterday, I think, is really important. We've published it on our website. It's you can find it on the Board of Selectmen webpage. It was also distributed by the chair last night to many people. Other things are happening. We're continuing work to do all the things that we're doing. Sidewalk work is happening on High Street. There's an accessible walkway being built at the Arboretum right now with CPA funds. The Asa Parlin House work, we're continuing to identify what we want to do with that. There was a public forum last night where we looked at 3 options for what we might, how we might reuse the space. We got some good feedback initially last night, and we're going to be asking the public for additional feedback as we move forward with the next phase of design. We are starting to work on a new accessible bathroom for the town hall meeting room. The upstairs meeting room has not had a bathroom for a long time, but it will when town hall reopens again, hopefully soon. We awarded the contract and work is starting soon. There was a forum on the Main Street intersection that's right in front of town hall that happened last month. And then later this month, there'll be a forum on the Main Street intersection with Prospect Street. There is a 25% design that's going to be presented to show how we think we could reconfigure that intersection to make it work better and flow and be safer for pedestrians and cyclists and everyone else. That'll be held November 18th at 7 p.m. And there's information on our website if you'd like to attend that. I hope you do. We also had a forum last week on the Maple Street parcel that we own next to the train station. And there's been some good feedback that we received through that. There's also been a survey published. If you'd like to provide your input in writing, I'd encourage you to check that out on our website as well. So, as I mentioned, we have some guests this morning to share some important information. I'd like to start with our public health team that I mentioned earlier, Heather York and Sheryl Ball, who are going to be doing a combined presentation this morning. Thank you both for being here, and good morning. What's happening?
Good morning. This is Sheryl with the Health Department. So, as you know, Massachusetts is showing an uptick in COVID positive cases, and Acton is as well. Currently, we're still listed as a green community by the state's metrics, but we expect that to change soon. I can't express enough how important it is that we all do our part to help contain the spread. One of the things that we can do, and as you may know, is the governor issued new guidance to wear face coverings while you're in public, regardless of whether you can maintain 6 feet of distance from others. So this is a significant change made by the governor's office, and it went into effect on November 6th. This is an important step for us to all do our part to help reduce the spread. We need everyone now to consider that a face covering is a daily attire, and wear it wherever you run into anybody, anybody other than who lives in your household. So that's a good opportunity now where Heather's going to talk about Thanksgiving and gatherings with people other than people that live in your home. Heather?
Thanks, Sheryl. Good morning, everyone. So as Sheryl and John both said, unfortunately, the numbers are going up in the town as well as the state. That John said it was 8 months today really surprised me, I guess, because it seems like it's been a lot longer. The pandemic has been so stressful and has isolated so many people. And I know that that is a big concern for all of us that work in the town, especially in the Human Services and Senior Center building. But now that the fall season is upon us, the United States in general has had a sharp increase in the COVID-19 cases, as was predicted from the beginning to have a fall increase. What we're seeing and what a lot of folks across the United States are seeing are small household gatherings that have been a big contributor to the rise in the cases across the United States. So the CDC has offered some considerations to help slow the spread with gatherings, especially with the Thanksgiving holiday coming up. So some of the considerations are when you're hosting or attending a gathering is to check the COVID-19 infection rates in the areas where the attendees or where you are traveling to, just to check what their status is. Like Sheryl said, Acton's in the green right now, but there's many communities in Massachusetts that are in the red and have gone to the red again as of yesterday. So it's good to check that if you're traveling in state. And then also you should check the state guidance, not just for Massachusetts, but the other states that you could be traveling to, because the CDC guidance is just recommendations to help reduce the spread. It doesn't supersede any state, local, territorial, or tribal health department orders and regulations. The suggestions are to limit the number of people that you are allowing in your house that are coming from different households. If they are coming from different households, they should maintain a 6-foot distance between each other. And also avoid direct contact, including handshakes and hugs. And I know this is a very hard thing for families to do. I know it's hard for me to not hug my children when I see them because they don't live in my house. So it's been very stressful, and I understand that, but to help reduce that spread, if you are going to a household that's not yours or people are coming into your household, try not to hug and do handshakes and keep that distance if you can. If you can host outdoor gatherings, it's been so seasonally warm here. We never know, Thanksgiving could be 70 degrees as it was this week. So you could host something outside, or where you're going could host outside. But just remember, as Sheryl said, even if you are outside, you still need to wear a face covering in a public space and do the social distancing. And that means avoiding having gatherings in small crowded spaces where there isn't a lot of ventilation. If you can increase the ventilation, opening windows and doors depending on the weather, that's important also. People should be requiring any guest that's coming into their home to wear a mask, as I said, and as that's a big piece of helping to reduce the spread. Another thing is encourage attendees to wash their hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. If soap and water isn't available, hand sanitizer is the next step to take after washing your hands. Just a couple other things, limit contact to commonly touched surfaces or shared items such as utensils. You shouldn't be doing any kind of buffet meals. Use touchless garbage cans if you can. Clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces like counters. Plan ahead to make sure that you're not going over the 10-person limit in Massachusetts of people coming into your households. And then the last thing is, and this is always such a strange thing to say, but to treat your pets in this household as human family members. So if you don't live in the household, or you have people coming in and you have pets, encourage them not to pet your animals, because you can spread the virus putting your hands on their fur. It always sounds so strange to say that, but it does help to reduce the spread. And the only other comment I have is, if you can, if you're doing a gathering, try to keep food that you are either making or someone else is bringing in a safe area that's well ventilated. But also, if you can pre-make meals, so you're handing out and one person is doing that preparation, it does help to make it a little bit safer for us. I know it's a stressful time, and I know the holidays everyone looks forward to every year. Travel is, a concern. So, just be safe, keep wearing your mask, keep social distancing, try to do things virtually if you can, make phone calls to your family to keep in touch during this really difficult time. Thank you so much. That is all I have. I don't know if Sheryl had anything else.
I do. Thank you, Heather. So just wanted to update you all on some of the things the health division's been doing during these stressful times, as Heather mentioned. So we do spend a significant amount of time reaching out to our local businesses, organizations, to ensure that they're following sector-specific guidance. These guidelines are ever changing, and as we begin to understand how this virus is affecting certain areas, and the health division works really hard to ensure that businesses are aware of these updates. We also conduct inspections of these facilities for compliance and also consumer complaints. So lastly, in this last 8 months, we've responded to numerous questions from many residents and businesses. Please know that we're a valuable resource to help all of you with any questions you may have. We know that these are challenging and difficult times. Please feel free to reach out to us with any concerns you may have. Thank you.
Well, thank you both for the updates this morning and all the work that you've been doing, and keeping us informed, and we'll keep doing our best and wear our masks as you suggested or required. Our next speaker will be Sharon Mercurio. You all know Sharon from the Council on Aging, and she's continuing to do her work to keep you all engaged and informed despite not having a senior center to welcome you to. So Sharon, what's on tap for this week?
Hi, John. First, I wanted to thank you. You did a great job thanking all your staff, but I don't think you've slept more than 10 hours during all of this, so thank you for your leadership and guidance during these really difficult times. I think you've done a great job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So this week, what we have on tap, we're doing a drive-through Thanksgiving meal. We've got 75 people signed up. So they'll just be driving through the circle at the senior center, and we'll be handing pre-packaged meals into your car. So that should be exciting. Following that, later in the afternoon, we have Michelle Alex, one of our favorite RMV employees, who's also an Acton resident. She's going to be co-hosting a program, Rediscovering the MBTA and Exploring Driver Retirement. So that will be on Tuesday at 2:00. It's a Zoom program, so sign up for that. We'll also be showing it later on ActonTV. Wednesday, we have Margaret Hoeg, who is available for Ask the Lawyer appointments. So it's free legal advice. She gives each resident about 15 minutes of her time. So if you're interested in setting up a virtual meeting with Margaret, give us a call. Thursday, we have a talk on the Soviet Union and Russia. And then a couple of reminders. So Zane is the service dog we've had on as a guest with Java with John. He works for the police department, but he's available with John Stackhouse to make home visits to seniors. So it will be done safely. It will be done outside with proper social distancing. But I think whatever helps us get through these difficult times, and pets are just wonderful therapy. So if you'd like a visit, give me a call and I'll set you up with an appointment with Zane and John. We also have National Honor Society students that have been fabulous during all of this. So they can make phone calls to you. They can help you learn how to get on Zoom. I think as this continues to go on, I've seen people that were a little reluctant to use Zoom initially, hopping on, and now we're seeing them as regular participants. So the students can help you with that. And then ActonTV has been a fabulous partner during all of this. If you're not on Zoom, if you're not comfortable with technology, they've been fabulous about airing a lot of our lectures, our classes, our programs. And two that I wanted to point out this week that are being shown, there's a program on Medicare, which is really confusing. There's different parts and different guidelines and that sort of thing. So there's a wonderful kind of intro to Medicare program that's being aired every day pretty much on ActonTV. And then Wednesday was Veterans Day, so thank you to all of our veterans. Jim McCrae did a wonderful program that's also being aired on ActonTV. So if you haven't seen it yet, it's really wonderful. They have students from the Douglas School participating as well. So that's it for me. If you need anything, please give us a call, 978-929-6652.
Thank you, Sharon. Nice job as always. Our next guest, Laura Ducharme, our Community Services Director, is going to be sharing some programs that we're offering. Laura's been doing a lot of work over the last 8 months to try to help she does anyways, provide outreach and help people find access to programs of support. And over the last 8 months, there's been several new programs that community partners like the United Way have created and our own organization has created. And Laura's been doing a lot of work to try to make sure everybody knows about these programs. And she has a few new ones to tell us about this morning. So Laura, what's happening?
Thanks, John. As John mentioned, we have some new programs that are new to the community due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The most recent program that has rolled out as of last Friday is a mortgage assistance program, or otherwise known as MAP. This program is for eligible single-family homeowners and condo owners who meet eligibility guidelines and fall within 100% of the area median income. And to give you a rough estimate of what that would be for a family of 4, that would be around $119,000 per year. This program is a collaborative effort with the Regional Housing Services Office, who is offering administrative support, who is providing administrative support for this program, and my office is doing the outreach. So residents who might have an interest in this program, the application is on the town website. You may also contact me directly at 978-929-6651 or l.ducharme@actonma.gov. We also have other programs running in the community. One is the United Way COVID-19 Response Grant, and that is a grant that's available to eligible residents who fall within 80% of the median income and have been impacted by COVID-19. If you are interested in learning about that program, you may contact my office as well. And also the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, which is a similar program to the Mortgage Assistance Program, but we will be working with renters who are impacted by COVID-19. And also the holidays are coming up, and we are also available to provide holiday support to children and families in need. So if anyone has any questions or any interest in these programs and wants to learn more, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Keep up the good work. Our next guest is actually, as part of our next guest, I want to make a formal Java with John announcement. We, as of Sunday, have a new deputy fire chief. And our new deputy fire chief is Anita Arnum. Anita was a captain previously, and she worked her way up through the department over the last several years. And she started on Sunday, and as far as I know, she's been doing a great job so far. And we're very happy to have her as part of the leadership of the fire department. And Deputy Arnum is here today to say hello and introduce herself to the senior community, and also provide some safety tips, I would imagine. Deputy, good morning. Thank you for joining the program and the leadership.
Good morning, John. Good morning, everybody. Very happy to be here. Thank you. Just want to say hello. I'm sure I know many of you from working with the Senior Safe Program, and some of the things I just want to let you know is that your fire department is up and running as normal. You might not recognize us because we will be wearing personal protective equipment, which we have ample supplies to keep everybody safe. And that's the most important thing. So if you have any emergencies whatsoever, please don't hesitate to call 911. We are here to serve you and provide you the services. In this COVID environment, a lot of people have hesitated to call because they're worried about COVID. We're taking proper precautions, we're keeping ourselves safe, and we're keeping you safe as well. And in addition, I would like to introduce Brent Carter, who's one of our Senior Safe and Safe members. He's been working with the program for quite some time, and he will be sharing some safety tips with you. And we are going to be making sure that we follow our precautions. So give us just a moment and we'll swap out, and I'll introduce Brent Carter.
Great. Thank you, Deputy, and congratulations again on your promotion. Basically, I just want to hit on a few points, talk about obviously we're all at home now, spending more time at home. So it's very important that we check our smoke detectors, make sure they're operational and working, check the batteries. We just had daylight savings time, so hopefully everybody changed their batteries and we're safe at home with those detectors working. So that's very important to make sure that the detectors are working. On that note, we do have a Retire the Fire program for the seniors that we've been doing since 2013. And we've installed thousands of detectors throughout town. It's available for senior citizens. Actually, I just went this morning and did 2 visits this morning. You can contact the senior center and they will hook you up with that so we can put new detectors in. That's for battery operated smoke detectors, folks that have houses that are older than 1975. On another note, as far as that, there's a Eagle Scout who is doing his project on fire safety and senior citizens, and his name is Siddharth. If you contact the Council on Aging, they can get you in touch with him, and they are doing a fire safety checklist. They're calling senior residents and they're seeing what they can do to assist them. He's going to get that information to us so that we can come in and put the detectors in, put the house numbers, put in what do we have to do to make you folks safe. The next thing I just wanted to touch on was basically with the holidays coming up, we're all going to be at home cooking more. And cooking is one of the leading causes of home fires. So if we can remember to stay in the kitchen when we're cooking, simple things like keeping kids and pets away, having a 3-foot zone in front of that stove. Again, making sure our detectors are working, everything's working correctly. We all have that nuisance detector that goes off when we're cooking and we silence it. Well, we shouldn't silence that. We should make sure that it's working. The other thing we want to do, think about too, is if we have a grease fire, don't ever put water in a grease fire. That's dangerous. We just simply want to cover that pan, take away the heat, and remember to call 911. I mean, the most important thing you want to do is notify people in the house that there's an emergency and keep yourself safe, life safety, make sure you're safe, your people in your house are safe, and then call 911. We'll come and put the fire out and take care of that. That's basically all I have. Hopefully everybody stays safe and we can see you again at the senior center soon. So thank you very much.
Brent, thank you. And thank you, Deputy, for joining us this morning. Brent, I understand you're coming off working for the last 150 hours. Is that true? How long have you been working?
No, that's a little exaggerated. It's 38 hours now.
38 hours and you're joining us. We really appreciate it.
And I'll be back tomorrow for 24. So
go home and get some rest.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. So that, I believe, is all of our guests this morning. And we do have some questions coming in, and the phone lines are lighting up as usual. And we actually have someone that I'm going to try to patch in live right now. So Mr. Alan Mertz, thank you for calling the Drive with John program. What's your question?
Hi, John. My question is on the pandemic, since we have the cases rising here in Acton and we're doing all of this tracing, why it is that we'd really like to know where the hotspots are in Acton so that we can not only do our part of wearing masks and staying socially distanced, but maybe we can help avoid some of the hotspots, whether they happen to be locations, if it happens to be in the schools, if it happens to be restaurants that have been traced back to, so that you can put a little bit of a halt on it from us, not permanently. And I know people don't want to release that information because maybe they won't visit, but that would also help us in the total transparency here in Acton to try and avoid and keep the numbers down. So I was looking for, out of the tracing, where the hotspots are in Acton that are causing this rise.
Well, thank you very much for being our first caller, and thank you for the very thoughtful question. There's a lot that goes into the work that we're doing, contact tracing, but only some of it we can share with the public. But I understand your question, and I think Heather is prepared to provide you some more details to help make you feel more comfortable with what the information we are sharing, given that we can't say everything.
Good morning. Thank you for your question. So there really aren't any particular hotspots in the town of Acton. We are seeing cases in the school system, but there is not school transmission. These are happening, and a lot of the cases in the last 2 to 3 weeks are mainly happening by what I talked about earlier, small gatherings within homes now that people are inside. A lot of the cases that we're seeing are because folks are visiting their family members for Sunday dinners, and then passing that along to their family members. The other cases that we're seeing are cases that are coming from businesses in different locations, not necessarily Acton, but outside of town is typically what we're seeing. There isn't any particular hotspot in a location in Acton, but like I said, there are some cases at the school, but luckily no school transmission, thankfully.
Just one other thing. So the Board of Health meets almost every 2 weeks, and Heather provides an update at those meetings, and we usually talk about this. So please feel free to join in and listen. They're Monday evenings at 7:30, and our agendas are posted on the town's website. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's helpful information.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mertz. Take care.
Bye now.
Okay, well, that wraps up our program for today. So everyone, please have a good weekend. Wear your masks, and we'll do it again next week. Thank you very much.